Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Well, in quiet despair, Democrats and the left, they've seen the error of their ways, and they admit we need strong, good men again. We need red pill manosphere men. We need them. And I'm not kidding. They really said that. Now, do they need us to help usher in a new era of masculinity and traditionalism? No, not quite. Do they need us to, save the world or something else? No, they don't need that either. They need us for our votes. Apparently, they think we're either stupid or suckers and have forgotten everything that they've talked bad about us in the last forever. This is just from literally, yesterday. Democrats are eyeing 2028 and they court the manosphere. Now, why would they want to court the manosphere specifically for 2028? Because they realized they lost this last election because of men. Men overwhelmingly voted conservative this last time around. And thinking that they can, promote women, promote feminism, promote Marxism in some cases and socialism, and promote all the other crazy stuff they do, the LGHD TV, where men are men only if they want to call themselves that, but also women can be too. When that's your playbook for the last, 8-10 years, and all of a sudden you come out and you say, well, we need to reach out to the manosphere men out there. Do you think we're just forgetting everything that's happened? Ambitious Democrats are increasingly jumping into a universe of podcasts and internet shows they once shunned, the right-leaning ones geared toward men. No, they didn't just shun us. They literally banned us. Banned from Reddit. They went after Joe Rogan during the whole COVID horse paste BS. They tried to cancel him. They've tried to cancel most of us. And now they're going to turn around and say, well, we couldn't get rid of you. We couldn't silence you. We couldn't argue with your points. Are we going to say sorry and welcome aboard, everybody? Good luck with that. Why it matters, President Trump won the majority of male voters last November and made huge gains among those under 30, a group Joe Biden had won in 2020. Now, Democrats are scrambling to counter Trump's version of masculine appeal. Yes, by having dudes dressed as women dancing topless in front of the White House. Good luck. Good luck with you. Trump made a point of going on popular shows that are part of the manosphere, including those hosted by Joe Rogan. He's not part of the manosphere. Theo Vaughn, not part of the manosphere. Lex Friedman and Andrew Schultz. Nope. None of those guys are part of the manosphere. They're just men with brains, speaking their minds. Driving the news since November, several potential 2028 Democratic presidential candidates have appeared on those shows, including former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and Rep. Ro Khanna of California. Actually, so has Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's been out on, who did he talk with? Charlie Kirk, I think. Charlie Kirk also went on Bill Maher's show, and the two had a good conversation. So now, all of a sudden, conservatives, not really red pill guys, conservatives are being treated at least fairly when it comes to the news because they realize that the youngest generation are primarily getting their information online from channels like this and many others, and they don't believe anything that's on TV or the news anymore because it's all propaganda. And Trump was smart enough, whether you like Trump or not, he was smart enough to be told by his son, Barron, and by others of his ilk, hey, you need to be getting on these podcasts and these TikTok videos and things like that and talking to the youth of today. And the Democrats primarily are on aging, cable television, where the only group of people that really hate Trump more than anybody else are boomers because they're the only people that watch cable TV anymore. And that life cycle is going to come to an end. They're going to age out, and that'll be the end of it. Booty Plug sported a new beard, joining Flagrant podcast. Shapiro joined Men at Work podcast. Ro Khanna joined the PBD podcast. As these podcasts boomed, prominent Democrats shied away because of the host's controversial, sometimes offensive comments that could upset the base of the party. See, but that's the thing. They're not really controversial. They're more than 50% of the population feels that way. That's what you saw in this last election. sometimes offensive only to you. Schultz, one of the flagrant co-hosts, has stirred controversy in the past with his jokes about race. Earlier this year, he said that with black people, if a white person isn't like a little racist around you, then you shouldn't trust them. They got to be a little racist or you get left out. Jokes like that have been around since the 1960s and 70s and 80s, even in movies and on TV. And you know what? Back then, things were funny. If you don't believe me, go watch Blazing Saddles and tell me if that could get made in the last 15 years. No, that's why comedy movies are no longer in existence, because they get so sensitive and touchy about everything. They say, since Trump's victory, however, Democrats, for now at least, aren't getting much backlash from appearing on shows. Marked change from how many Democrats reacting during Trump's first term. During the 2020 Democratic presidential primary, blah, 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 blah. Sanders has defended his early venture to Rogan's show and has continued to go on similar podcasts. Last year, he appeared on This Past Weekend with Theo Vaughn. The Lex Friedman podcast shows that Trump also went on during the 2024 election. Here's what's really important about this, and this shows you that the change of the times. That, you know, the left has been quoted, and various people of the left, whether it's people on MSNBC or other politicians, have said, you know what, we lost this election because we don't have people like Joe Rogan. We don't have people like, I forget who else they said, other people like Joe Rogan. Tim Pool, actually, somebody did say we don't have our own. And this is what's interesting. You did have your own Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. You did have somebody like Tim Pool. His name was Tim Pool. You know, and Tim, for the longest time, same thing with Joe Rogan and others, they came out and they were not on board with Republicans or Trump or anybody else. They were critical of them, as well you should be of any politician, as well you should be of any narrative. But when one side goes so far off the cliff, you kind of feel like, well, I mean, they're gone. They're out of it. They're gone. I guess there's only one group left I can really even consider being a part of. And if you're part of, you know, our space that we talk in here, you guys, I mean, I think most of you know, I used to be a default liberal, meaning, hey, you do you, I'll do me, and we'll all live in a happy society, right? And then half the people that said, we're going to just do us, they decided that boys can be girls and they need to teach kids in as young as 5 years old, that a boy can become a girl and a girl can become a boy. And they forced our way into our institutions, and they're mandating all these new laws. And now, of course, over in the UK, you can't protest this, you can't say that. Oh, someone was offended by your post online, and so we have to silence your free speech. And before you know it, the two camps of you do you, I'll do me, and leave me alone, that camp of people decided they were going to control everything about my life, everything. You know, whether it was during the lockdowns, where you could go shop, what you could go do, who you could supposedly listen to online. And over that time, that's where things started to change, where I realized, you know what, you just can't have a free liberties society. I wish you could. And if everybody was a good faith actor, I think we'd be fine. But the problem is, inevitably, some people decide you're too stupid to be given freedom. You're too stupid to decide what you want to decide. And so we're going to make laws to decide for you. And that's what happened most recently. And the whole reason why they're deciding now, because this is a very specific headline from Axios, of all places. Why do they say the manosphere? Why don't they say we want to court men? We want to court masculine men. We want to court traditional men. Because most of those things now fall in the quote-unquote manosphere, as they've labeled it. I don't even like the labeling of manosphere, really. I don't like the labeling of red pill. It tries to put a bunch of people that think really different on a lot of different topics, but maybe have some core values in there. It tries to lump them all in one pool, and then you get to call us names because you don't agree with what we're saying. The problem that they're having now is, yes, I think it's great that, Democrats and others go on Joe Rogan, go on Theo Vaughn or Lex Friedman, Andrew Schultz's podcasts. I think that's great. I think people want to hear and have an honest discussion with politicians on both sides of the aisle. And I don't think it's going to bode well for the left. It's not going to bode well for Democrats, because if I say, do you still believe that men and women are exactly equal and women can be men and men can be women? And your answer is yes. It doesn't matter what else your policies are. Everything else from that point just doesn't make sense. If you say that feminism good and most men are toxic, or masculinity, or being a stoic, strong male who believes in traditional things and wants things from a traditional woman, and that's the only way he's going to, end up picking up a girlfriend or a wife. If you say, no, those guys are still toxic, we have nothing more to talk about. And let's face it, there's only one reason they're reaching out. They don't care about men. They don't care about men's issues. They don't even care about what we think. They just want our votes. And they think that by pandering and coming over and maybe saying a few things that we might like to hear, we're just going to be stupid and forget all the other things that they stand for. This doesn't work because you can't target men like this. I mean, I'll give conservatives credit. At least I don't feel like they're targeting me. Because Matt Walsh, he speaks to a lot of things that I find important. And then he also opens his mouth and makes me mad every other week because he says I'm not a real man because I'm not smart enough to get married and have kids. I think that's stupid. Or he calls, video game players or people that root for a team on sports, he calls them losers because they put so much passion into a hobby. See, that's how I know he's not pandering to me. He says things I agree with. He says things I disagree with. Same thing with Joe Rogan or Tim Pool, or I'm trying to think of some other names out there. Or anybody on one side of the aisle or the other. At least I don't feel like you're trying to just convince me of this so you can get my vote. I don't know what the Democrats are thinking. I think somehow they think we're stupid enough that they can convince us that they're going to say a couple of nice things and all of a sudden we're going to find some value in what they say and vote for them. And maybe you do, that's fine. But as long as intersectional feminism and the LGHD TV and a lot of these other issues are the heart of the Democrat Party and of the left, I just don't see how you can square. I understand some of you may hate Trump. That's fine. I understand how some of you may hate Matt Walsh or conservatives. I get that too. I really do. I understand it. But I don't see how you can square it to where the Democrats can convince you they care about you enough that you'll go out and actually pull the voting lever for them. I don't know what they're planning, but whatever it is, I can tell you now, it's going to be cheap, it's going to be inauthentic, and it's just to get your votes. And after they get your vote, they're going to go right back to hating on you. I guarantee you 100%. Guys, don't forget, if you do like my work, make sure to join us over on betterbachelor.locals.com. On Rumble, you can click the join button down below. On YouTube, you can go over to betterbachelor.locals.com. It's $5 a month, but every week we do movie night, we watch sports, we watch UFC, we watch the 80s, which that in and of itself is that has become quite a fun evening where we just watch old 80s TV shows. And over on Rumble, and I also stream video game content. And it's not even really about the game. It's just hanging out. And it's not really about what we're doing per se. It's about having an interesting conversation with a great number of like-minded men. So come on over, become a supporter today. I think you'll appreciate it if you do. And we will see you in the next one.